here, it's time to play your part. The curtain's drawn and the crowd's all here. It's time right now to spread some fear. Treasure map snatched in the dead of night. Stealth and shadows, he's out of sight. Boxes rigged and ready to explode. Better watch your step or you might go boom. Jester's game is wild and sly. With a grin and a plan, see the loot pile high. Laughs and thrills, you know the tune. Hold tight, the stream starts soon. So brace yourself for a tale untold of clever heists and treasures bold. In this world where fortunes spin, the Jester's chaos is about to begin. The Jester's court where laughter reigns, a world of chaos and clever games. The crown may slip, the tricks may bend, but here the fun will never end. So take your seat, the show's begun. In the Jester's court there's always fun. Watch your step and join the ride. The circus begins, come on inside. Come on inside. Gold to gain and chaos to spin. The circus of tricks is calling you in. With stealth and laughs, it's bound to thrill. So gear up now, it's all downhill. It's all downhill. Oh, dust yourself for a tail and slide. With a grin and a plan, see the loot pile high. Laughs and thrills, you know the tune. Hold tight, the stream springs soon. So brace yourself for a tale untold of clever heists and treasures bold. Laughs and thrills, you know the
Good morning, chat. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Good morning. Well, you know what? It's not morning. It's actually quite late. Now that I think about it. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, chat. Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday. Hello, everybody. Yeah, we got some exciting news to talk about today. My God. My God. We have some exciting news to talk about today. Going through the after going through the dev pipeline release information for Outlands. Whew, I don't know how many of you guys have seen it so far. I briefly skimmed through it. I haven't been through it too thoroughly, but definitely saw some stuff in there that piqued my interest. So I'm pretty excited to go over it. Pretty excited to talk about it. Some very cool stuff in there. Very cool stuff in there. We'll be going through that today, though, going over it, see what we got in there. But yeah, sorry for the late stream today, chat. Just had to do some stuff before I could start stream today. Some last minute stuff. Had to take care of it. But we're good to go now. We're good to go, chat. Don't worry. We're good to go. Everything's taken care of. It's solved. Crisis averted. We're ready to get in here now. Do some stilling. Maybe if we have time for it, we'll do some stilling. There's a lot of stuff to cover in these patch notes, though. They dropped some bombs. They dropped some bombs. Some very cool stuff in there. Very interested in looking at it more thoroughly. We've already covered the quest system. We covered the quest system on Thursday. I think we covered the quest system on Thursday, but they released even more information. The stream that Pone started with Luthien and Owen, they went over pretty much everything it sounds like they've been working on. Very, very exciting stuff. I'm stoked. Very stoked. We'll dive into that, talk about it, go into details, give my thoughts, etc., etc. And yeah. First, chat, I must chug this bottle of water because I'm thirsty as hell. That's nice. That's nice. It's like an expansion without being an expansion. Honestly, I think it's adding even more stuff than Wildlands did. I think there might be more stuff than even Wildlands added. But it's not all going to be at once, so there is that. You have to keep that in mind too. It's not going to all be added at once. This is like, I don't know how long it spans. Like I said, I kind of skimmed through it. I didn't read it too thoroughly, so I'm not sure if they give a date for when this stuff will be releasing. But I assume it's stuff that's going to be released over like the next 2 years, if I had to guess. That would be my guess, just based on all of it that I saw. So we'll it's not going to be like Wildlands where, you know, July hits and then they release everything all at once. You know, it's not going to be like that. So yeah, but either way, it's extremely exciting. There's so much stuff in there that I'm hyped about. It's a pipeline, Owen said, over the next 2 years. Oh, nailed it. I nailed it. Perfect. Yeah, that's what makes the most sense. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's see here. Let's get switched over. Let's just get into it, chat. Let's just get into it. Like I said, there's a lot to cover. So, I don't know if you guys have you're totally piped about it. Yes, dude. Yes. Like I said, I don't know if you guys have already looked through it, read through it and all that. But yeah, we're gonna cover it from head to toe. We'll go over everything here, see what it's all about, chat. See what we got. Okay. Alrighty, let's get into it, chat. Let's see what this pipeline's all laid out for us. Let's see here. Can you guys see it? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Development pipeline posted on the 25th, 2025. As with all of our previous development pipelines, it's posted intended to give players. Is that accurate? That doesn't seem right. Was this like, was it that stream on Saturday? Hang on, I'm just looking. Yeah, wasn't that like the 28th when this was posted? All right, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but they posted what's created. Oh, right. Yeah, they just made it public. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yo, what's up, Ellicott? What's going on, buddy? We are just getting started here. We are going to cover the development pipeline information, everything that they've released and shown so far. Some super exciting stuff in here. Okay, let's see here. Let's get started, chat. Development pipeline note, as with all of our previous development pipelines, this post is intended to give players a glimpse of what we are potentially introducing on the Shard in the near future. However, players should be aware that the features listed may change substantially before they reach the live Shard, with some potentially being omitted entirely. So we know that everything in this post is stuff that they're working on over the next 2 years approximately. So some of the stuff we might see this year, some of it we'll see next year, that kind of thing. Don't expect everything here to be released by the end of the year. That's not going to happen. And in the same vein, I'm sure we're going to see stuff released that's not in here at all as well. You know, they don't talk about a lot of the clothing stuff, eco stuff, event stuff. They're not talking about any of that stuff in here to my knowledge. So there's going to be stuff that they're also releasing that's not in this pipeline throughout the next 2 years. But this is like their big overall plans and goals, stuff that they really want to make waves with in the server. So yeah, keep that in mind as we're reading through this. So Seer quests are quests built by the staff Seers, Eric, and Atropa, and will often feature the complexity and potential difficulty of a content players have come to expect from Time Dungeon. Okay. These quests will often originate from the Avedonian Library, and their rewards will sometimes be a unique library codex coin currency that players can spend to purchase a wide variety of decoration, clothing, hues, or other potential rewards similar to Infinity Market and Time Dungeon Colony. Okay. So when we're going over the quest stuff, we were curious about this. They said there's 3 different types of quests. There's like new player quests, Seer quests, and Radiant quests, I believe, aka repeating quests. We didn't know what a Seer quest was, so I'm glad that they've clarified what that was. This is pretty interesting. The fact that it's going to be about the same difficulty as Time Dungeon, that ranges in difficulty substantially. So, but I guess it's it just means they're going to be hard. Regardless, they're going to be hard. But it also says potential difficulty. So that doesn't mean all of them are going to be that hard, but they have the potential of being that hard at most. So don't expect anything more difficult than Time. That is possible. But yeah, okay. That's good clarification. So you'll be able to get decorations, clothing hues, and some other stuff from doing this. I'm curious what kind of rewards and unlocks you're going to be able to get from doing these. Because if they're really cool decos and really cool clothing stuff, even I might be tempted to do them. And you know I don't be PVM in chat, but if they got some cool clothing stuff you get from this, I don't know, maybe. Or I'll just grind and buy it from other people. We'll see. Okay, we got the quest list. We covered this already. Chat, if you haven't seen my YouTube video about the quest system that they've introduced, you can go watch that on the YouTube channel. I posted it a couple days ago. It breaks down all of the quest stuff that they've talked about so far. We've already covered that here, so I'm not going to go too thoroughly into this stuff. And I don't think they talk about it too much here either. So yeah, it's pretty brief. Okay. So yeah, already over it. It's very detailed, though. There's a lot that they've talked about in the quest stuff. So if you haven't already checked that out, chat, I highly recommend watching the YouTube video after the stream. Go check it out, because the quest system, honestly, I'm insanely hyped for the quest system. It sounds fucking awesome. It's very cool. Okay, Sanctuary Dungeons. Revelia Sewer will be introduced as a new Sanctuary Dungeon. Okay, I mean, I love a good sewer dungeon crawl. That's just like every RPG starts you out killing giant rats. So yeah, this is sick. Nice sewer exploration for the new player pop. Sick. Love that. Very cool. Spell chaining. Oh shit, a new skill already at the top. Damn, okay. That's how you know they're coming out swinging. The very top of the post is a new skill that they've been working on. It's called spell chaining. Okay. Spell chaining is a new skill we are introducing for spellcasters that rewards them with progressively increasing bonuses for casting offensive spells along a sequence known as a spell chain. That's interesting. That's interesting. So I wonder if there'll be RNG spells, like it selects a random spell for your next chain, or if you just have to cast from like first level, second level, third level, fourth level, fifth level, sixth level. Like you just go in sequence of the circle. It doesn't matter what you actually cast as long as it's next circle. Interesting. Okay. I'm sure they'll cover it. Spell chains. Spell chains are a collection of 4 offensive spells that are semi-randomized and arranged in order with second, third, and fourth spells in a chain, each having a buffer effect tied to it. If a player casts a spell at their current step in the spell chain, they receive the bonus effect listed and move on to the next spell in the chain. The power of the bonus effect of each step is scaled based on the player's spell chaining skill and increased the further the spell chain they go. Spells do not need to be cast again on the same target in order to progress the spell chain. The player just simply needs to follow the order of the spell chain for their offensive spells cast. Okay, so we have, in this example, we have Magic Arrow, Fireball, Lightning, Flame Strike. Am I tripping? Because this says from first to fourth level, but this is Flame Strike, right? Is this not Flame Strike? What is the spell, chat? What is this? I'm not sure what spell this is. Fourth spell, not fourth level. Oh, you're totally right. Oh, you're totally right. Yes. Okay. So it's not fourth circle. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So in this example, you cast Magic Arrow, Fireball, Lightning, Flame Strike. And each one of these is going to give you a buff. I assume these icons. So like defense, health, and poison or something. I'm not sure. Let's see. Buff and effects. A few examples of some of the potential buffs effects might include caster receives damage resistance, health restored, mana restored, arcane buildup, damage shield, reduced casting delay, hex, chill, burn damage, bleed, disease, poison, bonus damage, knockback, and tingle, hinder. This sounds incredibly fun. Let me first and foremost say that this sounds very fun. I love stuff like this. It sounds very fun. I love RAPJ script. Yeah, that thing's gonna struggle. I love RNG and PVM. I hate RNG and PvP. So as a PVM mechanic where you're just getting like random ass buffs and effects and stuff, I think that's super fun. I love that kind of thing. It's a good time. A spell chain will end and a new one will be randomized for the player if any of the following happens. If the player casts an offensive spell that is not the current step for the spell chain, the player casts the fourth and final spell of the spell chain. 10 seconds pass since the last offensive spell was cast. Okay. Spell chain customization. Oh, you're allowed to customize it. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Players are allowed some control over which spells and buffs are randomized for each step in the spell chain. Players are allowed to pick 3 spells and 3 buffs and effects that populate randomization pool at each step. Players are not allowed to have the same spell or same buff/effect in the randomization pool for consecutive steps. Okay, so let me try to make sense of this. I assume this is the first step, second step, third step, fourth step. And these are the spells that you can select for each step. Is this really the only spells you can select? Interesting. So we have Magic Arrow, Poison, what's this, Curse? Fireball, Lightning, Mind Blast, Explosion, Flame Strike. Direct damage ones. Yeah, it looks like it. It's all just direct damage spells. Interesting. Okay. And then we've got the whatever these buffs are. I have no idea what these mean. hopefully it describes what these mean. Once they have the system live, obviously, like I said, this is potentially very far away. So yeah, hopefully it'll explain what each one of these are though. This is pretty sick though. I really like this. This is interesting. I'm curious how good these buffs will actually be because, you know, if you're going to put 100 skill points into a new skill, it's got to be pretty damn good, right? It's got to be worth it. Otherwise, why would you do it? But on paper, this sounds really fun, really cool. If the effects are worth it, people will definitely use it. Aspect will potentially introduce a new sequencer aspect to synergize with spell chaining. Okay, new aspect tease. No information on it though. Another new skill, druidism. Oh, I know people have been asking for druidism for a long time. People have been asking for this one a lot. Interesting. Okay. So they have been working on it. Druidism is a new skill we are introducing oriented around shapeshifting into animal forms. A player's effective druidism skill is capped by their animal lore skill. Players must have 80 druidism or 80 animal lore to use druidism to adopt an animal form. Oh, great, a druidish princess. People have been asking for this one for a long time, so I'm not surprised that they've been working on it. Druidism's always sought after. This is going to be interesting though, because the animal forms are going to have to bring quite a bit of uniqueness to the table for it to be worth 2 skill investments here. So I'm curious what all this is going to open up for people that will make them actually want to invest into it. So very interesting. Animal forms. Using druidism, players can shapeshift for a limited duration into animal forms. Druid tamer. That makes the most sense since they would already have animal lore. So we'll see. We'll read about it. Think of our thoughts, I suppose. Animal forms each have unique abilities, bonuses, upgrades, and modify the melee or spellcasting mechanics for the player in some fashion. There are 3 melee animal forms: Gold Tusk, Scumbug, and Slay Amphibian, and 1 spellcasting animal form, Spell Purger. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about the animal names. We're gonna have to talk about the animal names. Scumbug, really? Really, guys? Scumbug. That's what you went with. Slay Amphibian? Okay. All right. Animal form types. Well, in the animal form, players can largely fight as normal unless otherwise noted. Players can use items as normal. Bonuses from codexes, aspects, mastery chains, red lines will apply to the player as normal. ChatGPT names there. Yeah. Slay Amphibian sounds like a high school nickname. It really does. It really does. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about those names. Definitely gonna have to talk about those names. Armor rating and property bonuses from equipped items. Armors, weapons, spellbooks will apply as normal. Okay. They said they're placeholders for now. They didn't want to have a form. They didn't want to have the forms the same name as the animals in the wild where people can mistake them. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I understand why they're not named after like the actual animals in the game. That would lead to some very potentially funny PvP situations, but yeah. Okay. But we can't be having Scumbug and Slay Amphibian. We can't be doing this. We can't be doing this, guys. Players cannot cast spells in animal forms unless it is a spell casting form such as Spell Purger. Okay, so based on their verbiage here, I'm assuming they intend to release more animal forms, presumably as it's further in development or as time goes on, they'll have more. Because currently there is only Spell Purger. Melee forms, Gold Tusk, Scumbag, and Slay Amphibian. All melee animal forms will require the player to have a wrestling weapon equipped, such as fist blades, cestus, martial manuals to make attacks. Players will continue to receive material and magical property bonuses from their weapons as usual, so like crafted, vanquishing, that kind of stuff. Players can still land weapon specials, activate weapon abilities, and still benefit from wrestling codexes, stances, and finishers. Players can optionally choose to fight unarmed, no weapon, but will not gain the benefit of any mechanics provided by using wrestling weapons, codexes, weapon specials, weapon abilities, etc. Okay. Spellcasting form, Spell Purger. While in spellcasting animal form, players can cast spells as normal. If the player has the required skill to use an arcane staff, they can make range attacks like normal. Players will continue to receive all material and magical property bonuses from their equipment, like arcane staves and magical spellbooks. All normal mechanics that apply to arcane staff attacks or spell books will apply to the player while in animal casting spell form. All right. To use druidism, wait, so what is the point though? Do they get anything special? Or you just look cool as hell? To use druidism animal form, the player will need a druid's tome, which is blessed and crafted with inscription. Double-clicking the Druid's Tome will launch the Druid Tome menu. In the Druid Tome menu, players can view abilities, upgrades, weapon modifications, bonuses, or passive. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so passive abilities. So it does have a lot of bonuses, it looks like. Interesting. So the Gold Tusk has Claw Sweep, Headbutt, Hard Pelt, and Feeding Frenzy, as well as it has upgrades as well. This is pretty sick, actually. This seems pretty cool. Each animal form has 4 abilities available that can be activated by consuming druid symbols, which are similar to the chivalry and necromancy abilities. Is the end game all about looking cool? That is true. Yeah, that's true. Also, suck it, chat. 7-day stream streak. Louis balling out of control. Got the 1-week streak. Each animal form. Okay, we already read that. Upgrades. Yo, Gucci, coming in with the 16 months. Yo, thank you so much, Gucci. Welcome back to the Jester's Court, buddy. Thank you so much for that resub. Each animal form has 6 upgrades available that modify the animal form in some fashion. Hey, it took a month to get that 7-day streak. Yeah, last month was fucking rough. I'm sorry about that, chat. Last month was not good. I had some real shit going on, but I do apologize nonetheless. That sucks. Each animal form has 6 upgrades available that modify the animal form in some fashion, bonuses, abilities, mechanics, etc. Players are allowed to select 3 upgrades from the list. Players can only change upgrades for an animal form while they are not currently in that animal form. Okay, required weapon, wrestling, attack speed 36, weapon damage 15 to 33. Form bonus, it gives you an extra 25% melee damage and 15% damage resistance. It has 2 passive abilities. This is an interesting system. I assume that they aren't talking about what each one of these stats does because it's too much to go about when they have so much stuff already in the pipeline that they're talking about. But I'm very interested to read more about the druid system in the future where they start breaking down like what exactly do these abilities do? What does brute force do? What does leather hide do? I assume this one is giving you 25% more melee damage and this one is giving you 15% more damage resistance. But yeah, I'm super interested to read more about what each one of these abilities does because the druid system sounds super interesting. If the abilities are really unique and make the playstyle unlike anything else, I could definitely see druidism being very popular just because it'll play, you know, totally differently from every other build. So yeah, I'm very interested to read more about this system and get more info about it. Animal forms may have weapon modifications, which alter the stats of an equipped weapon or a player while in that form. For example, the Gold Tusk animal form modifies the player's wrestling weapon stats to match those of the quarterstaff, slower, heavier hits. Animal forms may have form bonuses, which provide the player a constant bonus to 1 or more mechanics, such as melee damage, damage resistance, or poison resistance, etc. Passive abilities. Animal forms may have passive abilities, which can trigger randomly or in certain circumstances, such as spell reflection, health regen, applying poison, etc. All bonuses, effects, or abilities provided by an animal form will have their values scaled by the player's effective druidism, divided by 100. Okay. Druid hotbar and druid symbols. Players can change into animal forms and activate animal form abilities with buttons on the druid hotbar or by using individual druid commands. Okay, makes sense. Is Jester logging back into Outlands? Yeah, we're back on Outlands. We came back last week. Came back to Outlands last week. Druid melee template's going to be coming out. That's what I'm saying. So, because every build is already so competitive, there's so many skills you can put in like virtually any build, which is why there's so much build diversity in Outlands because there's so many competitive skills. One player can look at one skill and another player can look at a different one and both have like, this is the best skill ever. And so as a result, you get a lot of different build diversity. As a consequence of that, as both positive and a negative, is when they introduce an entirely new skill like druidism that intertwines with stuff like all of those skills that people are already using, you have a severe problem where This has to be really, really strong, like OP strong, or people aren't going to use it, or it has to be very unique and a totally fun play style that people are like, you know what, I'll sacrifice some of my gold to have a totally fun, unique experience. Uh, so if it's not doing either of those things, it's not going to go anywhere. So we'll have to see until we see like more about it before we determine, you know, is it going to fulfill either of those points of interest for people. You know, when it first releases, there's going to be a lot of druids on the server because it's new. People are going to try it out. But I'm talking about like lasting a pill. Are people going to be doing this after the flavor of the month kind of situation? So yeah, we'll just have to see what these druid skills do and how they interact with people. And it's similar with spell chaining, how those bonuses interact, how strong they are, that kind of thing. Maybe pushing for more group play, so your group needs more diverse tune builds. Maybe, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. I'm very interested in seeing more about this. I'll be keeping my eyes on this one very closely. The spell chaining one is cool, but it's a lot more straightforward. You know, it just cast spell, get buff. Druid is very unique, so I'm curious to see more about it, especially see what these abilities do. Druid symbol, similar to chivalry and necromancy skills, players using druidism will generate a druid symbol every 5 seconds. Druid symbols are represented by a leaf graphic. Adopting the animal form will consume 1 druid symbol. Activating a form ability for their current animal form can consume anywhere from 1 to 3 druid symbols, depending on the ability. Okay. Adopting animal forms. When a player adopts an animal form, they will remain in that form for 30 seconds unless they choose to end the form early. After an animal form ends or is ended, the player cannot adopt another animal form for 5 seconds. Okay. Interesting. So you transform for 30 seconds. I'm curious if animal forms will have their own life bar as well. That's a common thing with druids typically. They haven't mentioned that yet, so I'm guessing not. So they may bump it to 60. Yeah, 30 seems a little bit short, but we'll see. Gold Tusk melee animal form that focuses on slow but heavy hitting melee attack can debuff enemies, provide temporary damage shields, and increases damage when at reduced health. Okay. Kind of got it. Goes berserker mode. Scumbug, melee animal form that focuses on heavy defense, damage over time, and mobility. Can inflict disease, can use the dig ability to teleport and deal area damage, and gain damage resistance when fighting multiple targets. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Okay. That's one thing I didn't like is the limited time in the form. One thing they might consider doing is when you transform into the form, they have a unique like one-time ability they do when you first transform into the form. It does something like each form has its own like unique effect as soon as you transform into it. That way, you know, every 30 seconds you're casting some like a one-time unique ability sort of thing. That would be cool. I would like to see something like that. If they're going to force you to transform out of the form every 30 seconds, have also make it like a time gated ability you also use like every 30 seconds. Something like that would be cool. Like for instance, the scumbug. As soon as you turn into the scumbug, you also teleport and deal this area damage or something. You know, that'd be something kind of cool. Just like an engagement move. Just like a battle starter, something like that would be cool. And gain damage resistance and fighting multiple targets. The Slamphibian, melee animal form that is well-rounded but excels at survival and aggro management. Has form abilities that can summon frog followers, inflict poison, and shed harmful damaging effects, poison, disease, and bleed. That sounds really fun. This is my form right here. I'm going full frog mode. I love builds that just stack different types of dots. That kind of stuff is so much fun. So this is like, you know, right up my alley. That sounds really cool. Spell Purger, spellcasting animal form that focuses on burst attacks and enhancing spells. Has form abilities that can restore mana, unleash burst attacks, and increase spellcasting range. Oh, shit. Interesting. Increased range. I'm curious how some of these are going to interface with PvP. Yeah, PK'd by a frog. I'm curious how these are going to interface with PvP. Has increased spellcasting range. It's pretty insane. That could be very spicy. I'm curious if these have a cooldown when you're transforming, or is it instantaneous as well? And I could definitely see people like working this kind of stuff into a PvP rotation potentially, depending, on the circumstance. If it's an instant cast, it'd be interesting. Why don't you introduce a nature aspect to synergize with druidism? Oh no, another green aspect. Not like this. Well, this is not like that bronze color that like 7 other aspects are. Geomancy, another new skill. Damn. Okay. Geomancy is a new skill we're introducing that allows players to construct golems to serve as summoned followers. We have an acid golem, a flesh golem, an iron golem, and a wood golem. I mean, I love summoning builds, so this like automatically appeals to me. This is interesting. This is a very competitive space as well, though. So again, like druidism, this one's got a lot of competition already because there's already so many different summoning type of builds, right? We have summoner, necromancer, we have tamers, basically. So this is going to be interesting to see what field this is competing with. It's what I want, and it's based around melee, no magic needed. Okay, so already it's already defined itself as being unique because it's not mage based. Okay, interesting. That's sick. Golems are 5 control slot followers that are very sturdy and provide decent damage. Golems also differ from other summons in that they do not require magery or mana to create, but have a longer construction duration where the player summons the golem and a recovery cooldown that must expire after they die / unsummon before they can be constructed again. The construction time and cooldown period for the golems can be reduced with higher geomancy skill and other potential sources such as aspect. Very cool. Yeah, this is sick. I'm already liking this. Golem types. There are 4 golem types available to summon: acid golem, flesh golem, iron golem, and wood golem. However, each golem type requires the player to have a secondary skill that caps their effective geomancy skill for all mechanics related to that golem type, including construction duration, recovery cooldown duration, and the scaling for its stats and abilities. Players need to have at least 80 geomancy skill and 80 of the secondary skill to summon golem types. Okay. Acid golem, secondary skill, the higher the player's alchemy or cooking skill. Okay. Focuses on area attacks, debuffing enemies, and is largely immune to any form of enemy debuff mechanics. So to do this one, you need alchemy or cooking. That's fun. Secondary skill, the higher the player's forensic eval and tailoring skill, focuses on applying a variety of damage over time effects and is extremely resilient to all non-physical damage. Oh, shit. Did wonder if you need 80 to summon, how do you get it to 80? That's a great question, actually. That's a really good question. I guess you just fizzle your ass off until it's at 80. I don't know. That's cool, though. Forensics eval. This has got to synergize well with people's builds. Kind of interesting. Let's see. Iron Golem, secondary skill, the higher the player's mining or blacksmithing skill is, focuses on powerful melee hits and extreme resilience to physical damage. Wood Golem, secondary skill, the higher a player's carpentry or lumberjacking skill. Okay, focuses on incapacitating enemies, fighting multiple enemies simultaneously, and regeneration. What does incapacitating in this circumstance mean? It's just good at killing? To knock them out, it puts them to sleep, it paralyzes? What's it mean, I wonder? Stun? Yeah, oh yeah, stun makes sense. Golem creation toolbox. In order to construct a golem, players will need a golem creation toolbox. It hinders. Yeah. Trapper rocking acid golem would be amazing. Yeah, that sounds sick. Using your acid golem to tank the mobs, gather them all up. And it debuffs them, and then your trap goes off. It's also doing AoE attacks. Yeah, that sounds awesome. That's cool. I love that. I'm excited for this class more than the other two for sure. Druid sounds sick. Spell chaining is fun. Golem seems like this is actually going to be very popular. People are going to be all over this for sure. I expect to see a fuckload of builds running this for sure. This has so much versatility to it. It can be combined into so many different builds just by the nature of it needing this secondary skill is going to be very interesting. Very excited to see this one on release. This would be cool. Double clicking the toolbox will bring up the toolbox menu. Click on the large diamond below the golem will construct it. Any golem type that the player does not meet the required 80 geomancy skill plus secondary skill requirements for will have its button grayed out. Clicking the small orb button above a golem type in the toolbox menu will launch a golem upgrade menu for that particular golem type. In the golem upgrade menu, players can view a detail of the golem type, including its required secondary skills, its passive abilities, cooldown abilities, and selectable upgrades. Passive abilities, corrosive impact, cooldown abilities, acid burn. Dude, this seems like so much fun. This seems like so much fun. This one sounds awesome. We're getting a second YouTube video this year with this one. Yeah, that's right. I'm just putting the VOD on. I'm putting the VOD live on this one. Yo, Soli coming in with the 17 months in the Jester's Court. Thank you so much, Soli. Appreciate you, buddy. Welcome back to the Jester's Court. 17 months. You legend. Thank you. Wood Golem with the Lumberjacking Sword guy will be sick. Yeah, dude. I'm excited about the Golem stuff. This is awesome. Sounds like so much fun, but I'll still only play a thief. That's right, chat. That's right. Maybe I'll drop something for Geomancy, chat. I already have the alchemy. I'll drop something for Geomancy. How about that? We'll have a golem to wander around with us. Be our friend. You won't? It's true, I won't. What he means is stealing from the golem guy will be fun. That's right. That's right, chat. Selectable upgrades. Each golem has 6 upgrades available that modify the stats, abilities, and mechanics for the golem. Look, I might not ever make a character that summons golems, but I can still be excited about it, chat, okay? I still enjoy the game, and it's going to bring more players into the dungeons as a result, which is good for me. The more people in the dungeons, the better. I'm excited. Players are allowed to select 3 upgrades from the list. Players can only change upgrades for a golem while they do not currently have this golem type summoned. Constructing a golem. Click the large diamond below the toolbox will summon it. Okay. They have 1 or more gem shards available in their backpack. Gem shards, rather than reagents, the ingredients cost to summon a golem is a gem shard, which is a tinkering crafted item made in bundles from multiple gems. Citrines, tourmalines, and ambers, etc. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is actually sick. I'm glad that we have a massive stockpile of gems, because the price of gems is probably going to increase as a result of this, which is awesome. I support this. Which is extra funny because it's going to cause the price of ingots to go up as well. Even more. Because if this gets too expensive, people will start buying ingots again to raise their tinkering. We will potentially introduce a creation aspect to synergize with geomancy mechanics. We gotta have a better name than creation, though. Creation is too vague. It's got to be like, yeah, they can't make it tinkering. I guess we already have a tinkering skill. Never mind, fuck it. Creation's fine. Wait till he scrolls down. He'll be saying he's got a PvP construct. Yeah, construct aspect. There you go. Paragon. Oh, a Paragon update. Okay, you're talking my language. Everybody knows I love Paragons. People need to do tinkering now before it's even more money. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Just be glad that none of this golem stuff requires tinkering. Cause imagine, I don't think any of these need a tinkering, right? Carpentry, lumberjacking, mining, blacksmithing, forensics, of tailoring, alchemy, cooking. Yeah, shockingly, none of these require tinkering. Constructs is Slayer type, I believe, somewhere in the code, which would confuse things. Yeah, true. Oh yeah, there is construct slaying. Let's see. Paragon update. We'll be tweaking the current Paragon handling for spawns, with creatures now spawning as lesser Paragon, and greater Paragon, rather than just simply Paragon. Honestly, this is such a good change because I like the RNG factor of never knowing what you're gonna get. It's fun, and this is gonna make Paragons way more competitive, which kind of sucks because people are very like lackadaisical about them currently, since they are not sure if they're gonna get a good one or not. But this is a good change. Just I don't know, fuck it. It's a good change. I don't really have any logic or reasoning for it. I think it's fine. It's good. Increase the stat skills for becoming a Paragon creature will now be scaled based on what level the Paragon creature spawns as. Okay, so they're going to be even harder if they're higher level. That's interesting. That's fun. The chest that occurs as loot for the creature will automatically match the level of the creature, i.e. greater Paragon will always have a greater Paragon chest. We will look to rebalance the loot of Paragon chest to make them more desired by players. Oh, fuck. We got to start stockpiling. We're not opening any more, chat. For the next 2 years until the system releases, we're not opening a single Paragon chest. Not until it's buffed. We're going to have like 8,000 on our house. 2 years. They already said it won't affect that. No. They were too smart. They're too smart. No. 2 years. Well, it's a dev pipeline, so this stuff is releasing over the next 2 years. You know, some of the stuff we might get next month. Some of it we might get in 6 months. Some of it we might get in a year. Some of it might we get in 2 years. So, yeah. No telling when this stuff's going to come out. Not their first rodeo. Yeah, they're too smart. Yeah. You said when it rolls out, the current chest won't be affected. Okay. We'll continue to open them. They've outsmarted us. They've outwitted us. That was onto something. Luthia said most of this already exists as code. So we'll probably see this very soon then. All the deco is Paragon chest moving forward. So yeah, we'll probably see this one released pretty soon in this greater Paragon system. Evolved creatures and field studies. Evolved creatures. Okay, this sounds interesting. Field studies is a new progressive system where players conduct field research against rare evolved versions of creatures that naturally spawn in the game world. Successfully researching an evolved creature will grant the player permanent cumulative damage bonuses to that specific creature type, as well as smaller global damage bonuses that applies to all creatures. What the fuck? Wait, this sounds insane. These damage bonuses apply to any type of damage the player or their followers inflict. Field study bonuses for a player are shared across all characters on their Outlands IDs. This sounds insane. I don't know about this one. Hang on. Successfully researching an evolved creature will grant the player permanent cumulative damage bonuses to that specific creature, as well as similar global damage bonus that applies to all creatures. This has got to have a cap, right? Like a very low cap, because anything over 5% is going to be insane. Apparently they have one animation guy and they don't want to lock him into the basement. I see. It's like 0.35% per research or something like that. It's like 10% cap total. Even 10% is quite a lot, but we'll see. I'm curious how rare these will be. How rare these evolved creatures will be. Evolved creatures, players will now have a rare chance to encounter an evolved version of a spawn creature. Any creature that could spawn as a paragon or have society jobs for it can spawn as an evolved creature. Unlike paragons where the creature's stat skills all receive a scalar increase, evolved creatures instead gain a randomized trait that enhances them in some manner. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. So they'll just like have a random ability that you won't expect them to have or something. We've gone full roguelite. I love that. That's fun. 5% cap per creature and 5% cap for global. Okay, that seems fine then. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. That's cool. Creatures can potentially be both a paragon and evolved. Oh god. Oh my god, that's gonna be a nasty mob. Okay, that's fun. That's fun. I like that. I'm curious what kind of abilities these evolved creatures could have. That'll be fun to read more about. I hope that they don't go too into depths about what abilities they can have. That way people have to just be surprised when they fight an evolved creature and, you know, like has like a trait that triple flame strikes you or something. That could be cool. That could be very cool. That's gonna be nasty, dude. A greater evolved Paragon. Player counters evolve creature. They will need to perform field research against the creature using field notes, which is a new craftable inscription item that is consumed on each use. No specific skill is required to conduct field research. Players simply need a field node item and complete the research action using them on the creature. Up to a maximum of 3 players can conduct field research against a creature in total, similar to handling for mugging and pilfering. Oh, interesting. So I know I'm probably not the first person to have this thought, but I can definitely see people trying to sell field note locations of mobs. Like if they find one out in the wild, they like mark it and they're like, yeah, next to people, I'll sell the location to. I could see that happening depending on how rare these are. Because if you find a really good evolved mob, I guarantee you people would pay you money to go research it. 100% they would. Greater Evolved Paragon OT Hug. Yeah. Its ability is even more AoE damage. Every time it hits you, gives you mega disease. They show an explosion ability. Oh, that sounds fun. If a player successfully completes their research, they will see the trait the evolved creature adopted and can view info about the trait. Each trait will typically feature one mechanic, such as an ability the creature can activate, a reaction the player can trigger when certain mechanics resolve on them, unique resistance to certain types of damage, or some other form of modification to the creature's combat, similar to follower abilities. Interesting. It is great. Great. We got detonating spiders. That's fun. That spider with detonate trait randomly explodes during combat, damaging nearby targets. Players can monitor their field study progress in the new field guide that is craftable with inscription. In the field guide, players can see their global damage bonus, which increases all damage that player and their followers will inflict on any creature. You can also see their current damage bonus against specific creatures. Global damage bonus will max out at 5%. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like 5% is like, can't imagine it being more than 5%. That's ridiculous. Specific creature damage bonus will also max out at 5%. Effective players can receive up to 10% damage bonus against creatures from the field studies menu. The 5%, but there's a 5% global as well. Yeah, but getting 5% on the individual mob is like good fucking luck, right? That's going to take forever, depending on how rare they are. If they spawn frequently, it won't take that long, but this is as rare as I suspect it will be. Getting up to 5% on a one specific mob, like a giant spider, for instance, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to take a hot minute. This is cool, though. So it looks like it gives you 0.5 per, which is not actually that much, to be honest, or it's a lot, actually, that it's not going to take that long to hit 5% on that. Really don't need to find 10. It looks like the global amount is much slower because it's only at 2.15%. So I'm curious how much you gain per on the global one. Redline updates. We are looking at expanding the redline system by introducing more upgrades that players can spend their redline points on. With this said, they'll have a similar spawn rate as Paragons. Okay, probably won't take too long then. You can find Paragons quite a bit. We usually find like 6 Paragons a day at least. Some examples include buffs to followers, poison damage, trap damage, barding effects, carry capacity, ship cannon damage, and so on. Areas of focus are builds that currently do not have the same impact from in-game leveling that other builds, such as follower-based builds. Okay. I mean, I don't care about the redline system at all because I will never interface with it ever. But to those of you who do, congratulations. Landmass expansion, our largest landmass expansion to date, introducing an entirely new cities, points of interest, exploration, and farming zones. Will feature thousands of potential housing locations available across multiple new biomes. Oh my god, dude, they're already working on a new continent? What the fuck? Dude, they're machines. They literally just released Wildlands like, what, last year? They're machines, dude. Oh man, that's so pretty. Holy fuck. It's massive, dude. Oh my god, dude. This continent is massive. It's like it's like almost the same size as this continent. Like if you pushed everything here together, it would almost like they're almost the same size. That's insane, dude. This continent's massive. What the fuck? Dude, this is insane. What the fuck? Oh man, I can't wait to explore this. It looks bigger than Wildlands. Oh, it's way bigger, dude. It's like twice as big as Wildlands. It's massive. What the fuck? It's not quite twice as big, but it's close if it's not. Jesus, dude, they are machines. I can't believe they've been working on something like this. The continent's already game. If you look at your map and go all the way to the right, it's there. See it? Really? You can see it? Can you actually go to it? Or can you only see it on the map? Maybe I can finally get the house. Good luck. Good luck. It's not about the size, it's how it's used. That is true. There might be, there could be like nothing of interest here. Seems quite unlikely, but yeah. Damn, dude, this is massive. Oh, I'm so curious about some of this. They said there's multiple biomes. I'm really only seeing 2 biomes though, which is like swamp and normal. Some kind of mountain situation going on over here, which is interesting. Some kind of mountain city or something here and here as well. Maze crab going on here. Okay. Dude, I'm stoked about this. A new continent, chat. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, because if you look at Wildlands, it's like doesn't even compare. It's in the black development area on the right side of the in-game map where the dungeons are housed. I see. Okay. Keep reading the patch notes and you'll understand what the right side is, I believe. Ah, okay. Gonna enjoy mining all those? Yeah. They said currently in game 7,500 houses and 5,000 rooms rented, which is crazy. Yeah. Final location and contents of landmass may change and ocean will likely be adjusted to account for the landmass introduction. Oh, title tome. Let's go. Finally hearing more about it. Dude, I'm so stoked for this dungeon. I've been looking forward to this one. This dungeon looks so sick. Title tome is a brand new dungeon we are releasing that features a number of new creature models as well as unique underwater mechanics for the lower levels. Oh god, an underwater mechanic? As long as I can stealth there and still there, I'm fine. But if I have to hold my breath, that's going to be a problem. Dude, look at the design here. Oh my god. Dude, this shit's beautiful. Look at this. Look at the architectural design here. You won't be here when you hear about the oxygen mechanic? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If there's an oxygen mechanic, that's gonna not be great for us because yeah, we walk pretty slow in stealth. Underwater thief. Damn, dude, this shit looks awesome. Look at those fish bones over there. What the hell is this? Fill their bubbles. Yeah, we'll have to steal their oxygen. What the heck? Bro, we got eldritch demons down here. We're fighting eldritch creatures down here. We're going to Innsmouth, boys. Let's go. Inferno redesign and new levels. Oh. Oh my god. Thank you, Owen. Thank you, Owen. Thank you. Oh. It's the greatest dev pipeline of all. The Inferno redesign. Inferno Dungeon is being redesigned to split portions of the existing level 2 and a new level 3. Inferno Dungeon will have a level 4 introduced. I mean, I assumed eventually they would get a level 4, but I'm excited to hear more about it. He said the mechanic is up in the air. I suggested craftable air bladders and Luthia sent back 5 exclamation marks. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure. I only know how to speak in Twitch emotes. That sounds good coming from him. Okay. So we're going to have to steal people's air bladders. Noted. Dude, we're going to get people killed by stealing their air from them. Oh my God. It'll be the greatest mechanic of all time. Literally going to cause somebody to die by drowning. I'm pretty excited about this. Obviously, as you know, Inferno is not my favorite dungeon. So them redesigning it doesn't sound like they're going to change the layout of it too much. But that's okay. Anytime a level 4 is introduced, I'm pretty hyped about it. So whatever. New dungeon, more to explore, more to see. I'm excited about this. This will be cool. Definitely check it out. Os level 4. This is more my speed. As you know, Ossuary 4 is like my favorite dungeon. Or Osses in general. I love Ossuary. It's so much fun. So I'm super, super excited to hear more about Ossuary in any capacity. Can't wait to hear more about this. They're not really going into details about any of this, just that they are working on it. It has been announced. That's good enough for me. So we have this to look forward to in the future. We'll see what more they got coming. Damn, this is sick. I love the design, dude. My favorite part of new dungeons is just seeing what new mobs they come up with, like what kind of creative mechanics they've got, the new mob designs, like just the theme of the new dungeons is so much fun. So very excited about this. Homa level 4. This is probably going to be released pretty soon if I had to guess, because we were supposed to get Poma 4 and the title tombs around August, if I remember correctly, based on their estimates from last year. I don't know if they're still on track for that, but we can expect to get title tomes and Poma level 4 relatively soon, if they're still on track. And Poma 4 is looking pretty awesome. Just an insane design. It looks, you can tell how much more talented the dev team has gotten. The map design has gotten. Just if you look at Poma level 4 and can compare it, or you look at Poma 1 through 3 and then compare it to Poma 4, you can tell it's the same dungeon just based on like the design style, but there's just so much more detail. The water is even more detailed. There's like actual like architectural design that their ability to design has gotten so much better. It's ridiculous over the years. They've made such an improvement. Very, very impressive. Because I mean, look at all this detail, dude. You got like waters flowing in, you got like tunnels, puddles of water, just everything. It's so good. Owen said he finally outsourced the map making. I'm not surprised with how much shit they're working on. I'm not surprised. They're working on so much. It's ridiculous. This is sick, dude. This looks awesome. Shadowspire Cathedral, because there's no way one person could do all this, dude. If Owen had to do all this shit, my guy would have to be like methed out of his mind. He'd have to be eating literally buckets full of methamphetamines to do this. Ridiculous. Shadowspire Cathedral redesign. Shadowspire Cathedral is undergoing a massive redesign, which will add new side rooms, new boss rooms, expand level 1 and level 3, and introduce a new level 4. Okay. I know I just said OS 4 is like my favorite dungeon, but when SSC is popping, SSC is my favorite dungeon. The problem is SSC is never popping anymore, so I sometimes forget that. But if this can make Shadowspire popular again, I will fucking go crazy for this, because I absolutely love Shadowspire. It's such a fun dungeon because all the mobs there are just chaos. Just chaos. You just get sniped off screen. It's so fun. So if this makes Shadowspire popular again, I'm gonna go crazy for this. This is exciting. I was wondering how long it would take them to make a new Shadowspire level. I know when I talked to Owen about this a while back on stream, I asked him when we were getting the next level of Shadowspire, and he said when every other dungeon, I can't remember exactly what he said. It was like either 5 years or when every other dungeon has a level 4. So I'm glad to see that they're working on this, because I was afraid we wouldn't see a new Shadow Spire in forever. So I'm excited that this is coming, because I love Shadow Spire. It's a good time. This is funny. They said SC would be closed during this. They said they'd put up police caution tape. That's funny. That is funny. Outpost expansion. The area surrounding outposts will be redesigned and expanded. Oh, shit. I didn't see this coming. That's unexpected. Okay. With a number of new points of interest, locations, farming areas being introduced, no housing allowed. Okay. I didn't expect to see them expanding the outpost island. That's cool. Outpost is my favorite city, so I'm fine. I'm fine with how it is currently, but yeah, if they want to make it better, that's awesome. Apparently there'll be a raffle house, maybe this one? Or is this a dungeon, I wonder? Looks pretty sick. Not that one. That would be sick to have a house that's led into with a bridge, though. Faction reward clothing. We will introduce over 40 new faction-themed clothing items available to purchase with faction silver. While the clothing are designed as a set themed around each of the 4 factions, players can freely mix and match pieces from each set and are not required to be in factions or in specific factions in order to wear them. I have hiccups. Got hiccups. And there's a haunted house or something, apparently. Another haunted house, huh? This is where Jester says he'll PvP. Probably not, because I could just buy this from people. Time to still cure potions? Yeah, that's true. That is true. This looks pretty sick, though. Damn, dude, this one is fucking awesome. What the hell? Why is Cambria so sick? These are... Why are they so detailed, dude? They look like they're from a different game. They have so much detail, dude. Look at the detail on this shit. What the fuck? Holy crap, dude. The amount of detail in this is ridiculous. That's crazy. Whoever their new artist is fucking incredible. Like, look at this shit. Dude, these cloaks are amazing. The shields are crazy. Faction shield covers. My God. We'll introduce 4 new shield covers themed for each faction. The shield covers remain in a player's backpack, and when they equip any shield item, the shield will adopt the appearance of the shield cover and will lose the appearance if the shield is removed. That is pretty awesome. Dude. These are incredible. What the fuck? How are all of these so cool? Damn, dude. Cambria goes crazy. Whatever faction this is also incredibly awesome. That's crazy. Dude, their artist, genuinely whoever is doing their art, holy fuck. Incredible. Faction mount gear. Terran. Yeah, Terran's sick. Terran looks awesome. Terran and Cambria are definitely my favorites. The other 2 are just so silver. Faction mount gear. The design on them is sick, though. They just need a little more color to them. Like, these 2 have so much, like, aesthetics to them. Faction mount gear. We'll introduce a new faction mount gear, including checkered comparison and plumed chaperon. I don't know how to say that word, I'm gonna be honest with you. Faction reward decoration. Large number of unique faction-themed house decorations will become available for purchase with faction silver. You like Prev? I like all of them. They're all awesome. Indaria, Prev, like, they look sick. They just need more color. Like, imagine if this one had some red. This one had some red in it. Give it some color. It looks sick. As you know, it's obviously very Roman based, so Red would be right at place. Let's see. What do we got here with our faction designs here with the decos? Some banners, all types of cool stuff there. That's sick. The factions have needed this because currently, to my knowledge, the faction silver is useless. So I'm glad they're giving faction silver more stuff to spend it on, to use, and that kind of thing. Very cool. The arena clothing rewards. We'll add new clothing items available for purchase for arena rewards. We got some kind of mask. We got a necklace. Got some bracelets. Arena tattoos. Okay. Elite Island will be a high-stakes PvP arena for pre-formed teams of 3 to 5 with no rewards or leaderboards. Matches are KD-based, last up to 50 minutes, and feature instant respawns, mana nodes, and strict anti-automation rules. Dungeon clothing. What the fuck? We're looking at introducing a series of ultra-rare dungeon clothing loot items, with sets corresponding to each of our dungeons and pieces from each set only found as loot within that particular dungeon. Dude, this is sick. Oh my god. Holy fuck. These are insanely cool. My god, dude. These are so sick. So each dungeon is going to have ultra rare dungeon clothing loot items in it. This is crazy. I wonder if they'll come blessed or not, or if we'll be able to steal this stuff. That's fucking awesome. The drip season looking good. Oh yeah, it's looking insane. The ones shown are Darkmire, Crawl, Inferno, Tidal Tomb, and Nucero. Damn, dude. The fact that they said these are clothing items, but this is very clearly a staff. Yeah. That's very clearly a staff. This is very interesting. Damn, dude, these are insanely cool. Whoever their artist is seriously fucking talented, man. Ow. 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 Ow X5. Pretty sure they said from left to right was Darkmire. This is Darkmire. This is Crawl. This is Inferno. This is Tidal Tomb. Ow. And this is Nucero. I'm digging the Tidal Tomb one, and I hate blue. Yeah, it's sick. I mean, it's just so fitting. Like, I could have guessed what these were without being told what they were, to be honest. The only one I would have struggled with was probably this one, the Tidal Tomb one, because I would have said it's Palma. The seashell on the shoulder, yeah. Like, you can tell what each of these are from very distinctly, especially this one and this one. Like, these two are extremely obvious. I would assume this one's Nucera because very draconic. Dude, these are so sick, man. I want to see the other dungeons now. I want to see the other dungeons. I want to see what Aegis Keep looks like. Or Ossuary. Dude, ossuaries would look so sick. Oh, man. An Egyptian themed one. Get some Osiris stuff going on. Oh, my God. Aegis and SSC. Yeah, SSC would look crazy as well. I'm excited about this. This one, honestly, you guys know I'm a fiend for the drip. I might be more excited about this than like literally anything else in the patch. These are just so sick, dude. I hope we can steal these. Hopefully they don't come blessed, because man, these are awesome. Can't wait to see the shelter dungeon clothing. Yeah, dude. It's the default clothing that comes newbie. You know, the blue shirt and pants you start with. We're introducing a number of plants themed around each town that can be grown using the plant system, similar to dungeon plants. Seeds for these plants may potentially be added as battle combinations earned through PvP events, factions, or other potential systems. That's cool. Imagine the rage when you distill it. I'll be too excited to detect any amount of rage, chat. Flower breeding. We'll be adding the ability for players to perform flower breeding on a new collection of flowers in the plant system. Similar to our mount breeding system, players will add 2 elements, flower seed plus pollen, to their plant bowl and will have a chance to grow flowers along a unique range of hues based on the elements used and luck. Oh my god, dude. Check out these plants. Dude, I just want to fill my house with this stuff. Dude, people are going to spend so much time for this. This is sick. Give me the purple flowers. That's what I'm saying. These flowers over here, these purple ones and the pink ones are fucking awesome. Damn, dude. We live for the rage. That's right, chat. That's right. I love that I've banned a total of like... Ow. I've probably banned a total, well, by I mean me and my mods and the bots total. The channel's probably banned about 7 people. We banned 2 of those people on Thursday when we came back to Outlands. And 3 years of streaming, dude. You unbanned one? I think Ecstasy rebanned him. He was a prior sub. Yeah, I think Ecstasy rebanned him. They were some fuckers, so honestly, good riddance. Ow. I don't mind bans, but sometimes you cross the line. They had it coming. Monster Bone Armor. We are looking to potentially introduce a new high-level material for armor and weapons that is crafted by players and requires new rare ingredients known as Monster Bone that can only be acquired through high-end content, potentially bosses, omni-bosses, high-level quests, etc. Okay. All right. Interesting. I mean, it's like the artist definitely just finished playing Skyrim for sure. When he made this, there's no doubt about it. It straight up looks like the Elder Scrolls Dragon Bone Armor. It's like identical. You mentioned Skyrim? Yeah, it's so similar. The only reason I remember is because I hate the way it looks. I hate the way it looks. It's just so bulky. I hate the way it looks in Skyrim, and I hate the way I like the way the weapons look though. The weapons are sick. The weapons are really sick, actually. These look awesome. This is interesting. So it can only be acquired through high-end content, potentially bosses, omni-bosses, high-level quests, etc. So is this going to be better than like Averite stuff? Is it going to be even better than Averite? I assume so, because it sounds like it's going to be potentially harder. I don't know, dude. I feel like Averite's still going to be harder to get than this stuff, because people are always doing these things. People are always killing bosses. But there's only a few people out there gathering Averite. But I guess we'll see. Monster Rumble. Monster Rumble will be a new single player game. They said special occasion armor, not something you're farming. Let's see. Okay. AKA, don't let it get stolen from you. Monster Rumble will be a new single player game available to all players that combines elements of card collecting and Pokemon like monster battles. Okay. Yeah. Monster Rumble is broken down into 4 difficulty ladders: bronze, silver, gold, and crimson, that each contain 45 ranks for players to compete. Each rank features 10 creature cards representing the creatures players found in the Outlands world. I mean, chat already knows I'm a fiend for card games. I fucking love that shit. When I played The Witcher 3, I didn't even care about the storyline at all. I just wanted to challenge everybody I could to Gwent and collect all the cards. It's like the first thing I did in the game. While playing Outlands through normal gameplay, players will now also earn Monster Rumble card packs, which become bound to the player. Son of a bitch. I'm not mad, chat. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed. Each card pack contains a random collection of creature cards for the player's current or previous rank, and players are allowed to select one to add to their collection. Can't trade the cards, though. Yeah, it's a CCG, not a TCG. Unfortunately, it's also not a stilling trading card game either. Card game with UO Gumps. Dude, I love card games. Participate in a Monster Rumble match. Players assign 3 creature cards to their team from the collection that must be chosen from the current or previous ranks of their current challenge. Starting a Monster Rumble match will also require the player to consume a Monster Mill, which players will earn through normal Outlands gameplay, also bound to the Outlands ID. Son of a bitch, chat. I won't be able to interface with this because there's no way to do it with stilling, which is very disappointing because I was very excited. Monster Rumble matches will resolve as actual battles between the player's chosen creatures and random enemy creatures from the next rank. Creatures are separated into lanes with each creature using their actual in-game stats, skills, and oh my god, dude. This seems like so much fun. Oh, did you actually bottle the mobs? Are you kidding me right now? They've got 2 skeletons on this card. Dude, this seems like so much fun. Bro, he's literally got a Ratman versus a Silverback Gorilla. Are you going to tell me this isn't the sickest thing you've ever seen? They've got a Silverback Gorilla versus a rat person. And you're taking bets on which one's going to win? This is the greatest thing they've ever added. We can finally have real cockfights, chat. I know. Apparently it's a finished system and Luthien is playing it. Dude, this seems like so much fun. Reform your ways and stop stilling. I might have to. Might have to, chat. Time to break out the Bard again. Oh, man. Outlands the Gathering. I can't wait. Dude, the fact that you actually battle the monsters, I love this kind of stuff. My favorite part of some like open world games is when the mobs fight each other. Like 2 different factions attack each other. I'll just sit there and watch them battle. I love that shit. So this is like, this is speaking to me on a spiritual level right now. This is my new religion right here. This card game. This is sick. While players cannot give direct commands to their creatures, they can manage the battle through actions such as lane swap, pacify, heal, evolve, or paragon to aid their creatures or control the battle. Much of a player's success in Monster Rumble will come to them knowing the strengths and weaknesses of each creature and matching them against ideal opponents via lane swap and strategic use of the other actions to optimize their creatures in battle. Players can acquire individual creature cards multiple times through Monster Rumble card packs, with each additional time increasing the card's upgrade level, sparkling card icon, which will grant the creature bonuses to damage dealt and increased hit points. He's got a card that is just 3 zombies. Players begin in the bronze ladder, and after completing all 45 ranks, can advance to silver ladder, and then gold, and then crimson. Each subsequent ladder will feature the same creature cards from the ranks of the previous ladder, but enemy creatures will gain additional bonuses in combat, and the cooldowns for a player's action will be progressively longer. Okay. Oh god, 2 Vinekin. I mean, and like a normal world, fighting 2 Vinekin would be horrifying, but if they're not stealth, they're nothing. The cakewalk. If they're both stealth, though, you're dying. That's simple. 3 fire elementals, smoke drake, a phoenix, a sunworm, haunter, infernal sorcerer. Dude, this seems like so much fun. I love this. Fine can randomly go stealth in battle now. Oh god. When players complete ranks and entire ladders, they will earn reward points they can use to purchase a variety of rewards, including custom paper doll trophies, unique rare cloth, custom clothing, including monster masks, achievements, and other potential rewards that are to be determined. My god, dude. You're going to have lizard masks. The RPers are frothing out the mouth right now. The RPers are frothing out the mouth. We have lizard factions. Lizard RPers, rat RPers, orcs. We got all of the RPers. That's sick. I knew they were lizard people. Yep. Yep. Alrighty, and I guess that is everything. All right. Dude, there is some cool ass stuff in here, chat. And the Lizard King, I can do anything. I'm like, we need an Anunnaki guild. Yep. I think I would be I think that the Monster Rumble thing is the most exciting for me, but because I can't interface with it as a thief, I'm not the most excited, even though I think this is like easily my favorite thing in this entire list. I love this right here. This is so sick. I will have so much fun playing this on my PVM character, 1000%. This will be awesome. But because I can't interface with it on my thief, which is what I do 99% of the time, that kind of sucks. I really wish that you could steal these things from people. They're bound to your Outlands ID. Yeah. Like I could technically do it on my thief, but I would have to earn it on my PVMer. I just want to be able to steal people's card packs, chat. Am I asking for too much? Is that asking for too much? Imagine getting cards from pilfering, though. That is true, actually. Maybe I'll get cards from pilfering. That's a good point. Yeah, maybe I'll get some of the cards from pilfering. Okay, if we can get it from pilfering, you know what? I take it back. That'd be awesome. Redeemed. Slightly redeemed. I'm also insanely hyped for this. We can see 5 dungeons here. Once again, that's Darkmire, Crawl, Inferno, Tidal Tomb, and Nucero. I'm very excited for this one. I can't wait to see the other dungeons. Like I said, I'm super stoked to see Ossuary. I think Ossuary in this is gonna look sick. Shadowspire also probably gonna look pretty awesome. Mausoleum was probably gonna look sick. There's so many different directions they could take Mausoleum. That's gonna look fucking awesome. Very excited about that one. Yeah, this is some cool stuff. This is like some Monster Hunter stuff right here. It's like straight up some Monster Hunter stuff. That's what it reminds me of. It's very Monster Hunter. So I'm very excited about this. Can't wait to see more of this stuff. Fingers crossed it's not blessed when you get it. Because if it's ultra rare, don't make it blessed. For the love of God, don't do it. Don't do it. Then we got the faction armor. The faction armor also looking super sick. But I'm also very excited about the Paragon update too. Just having the monster, the difficulty of the Paragon chests, making the monster scale to be stronger. I can't wait to see the numbers on this because right now Paragons have I don't know if it's percentage or static. I think it's percentage. I think it's a percentage scaling, but it's always the same. So there's no difference whether a monster is going to drop a lesser or a greater Paragon chest. It's always going to have the same buff to it. So now, as an example, seeing a Rage Demon or whatever they're called as a greater Paragon, this thing's got to do so much damage. It's going to be insane because by default, these guys are nasty. What I'm curious about is the actual numbers behind this, though, because we have. Is it going to be so right now, based on the current Paragon, let's just say the current Paragon is a buff of like 5% to all your stats. Is this going to be, are the greater Paragons going to be a 5% increase, or are they going to be like a 10% increase? Is it I'm curious if this is on average going to make the Paragons much stronger or if it's going to be about the same. Like Lessers will be weaker than the Paragons we have now, and the Greaters will be stronger, but the normals will be exactly the same, or how that, like what the numbers are going to be on this. Dude, my voice is so fucked right now. Holy fuck. I need more water. I need infinite water. It's been a year plus since I PVM'd in Outlands and I'm arranging my macros right now. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. There's some cool stuff in here. And all the treasure on the bodies who lost or greater evolved. Yeah, that's exciting too, dude. The fact that each evolved is going to have their own like unique abilities is so cool. Very excited about that. Then Geomancy is so sick too. I have a feeling this build is going to be more popular than anything we've ever seen. Not necessarily like everyone's going to be running an acid golem or something like that, but just in general, I think we're going to see more geomancy builds potentially than we've seen any build ever. Because it's so versatile. I can just imagine this build fitting into like any class, basically. Any melee class is going to try and make this work, I have a feeling. So I'm super excited to see this one. I think the one that's going to be the most common is probably the alchemy golem, just because so many people already have alchemy that it's going to naturally fit in. You know, less people are rocking forensics eval or tailoring. Obviously, a lot of people have forensics eval, but I feel like it's less common in melee characters. So I don't expect to see flesh golems as much as acid golems, just because, like I said, every meleeer, not every meleeer, but a lot of meleeers are running alchemy already. So it's just a natural kind of, inclination there. Mining and blacksmithing, very, very rare for PVM characters to have that. So I don't expect to see too many iron golems, and then carpentry and lumberjacking, kind of similar. Sometimes you'll see lumberjacking and swords builds just because it makes the axes stronger, but it's not super common. So the one I'm really expecting to see people rocking is just seeing a lot of acid golems. But I am very excited about this. I think Geomancy is going to go crazy. We've got the Druidism. Druidism is just one of those classes where we have to see more about it before I can make a definitive statement on if I think this is going to be super popular. I do think it's going to be popular, but yeah, I think we need to see more numbers. Like we need to see what these skills do before we can really, say one way or the other how popular this is going to be. But I think it's going to be good. I'm excited. I gotta bounce head to the restaurant auction. Have a good one, chat. Thanks, streamer. Yo, have an amazing day, Louis. Thanks so much for hanging out, buddy. Hopefully, the restaurant auction is good. I have no idea what that is, though. But I hope it's good. Good luck. Thanks for hanging out, Louis. It's crazy how much stuff's in the pipeline, dude. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I would expect to see like one skill announced, one dungeon, that kind of thing. But yeah, this is crazy. It's a local place, went out of business, and they're selling their shit. Ah, I see. Oh, shit. Yo, good luck, Louis. You'll find some good stuff, buddy. Hope you got some good deals. That's exciting. That sounds fun. Good opportunity to buy stuff for like 30% of retail. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yo, good luck with that. That sounds sick. It'll probably be popular among harvesters for the summon, basically. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. There's going to be a lot of people running around, a lot of looting characters that just run around with forensics. And with golems. I could definitely see that for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Let the chaos reign, less para, 1.5x Paragon, Paragon 2x, greater Paragon 5x. That would be crazy, dude. If greater Paragons are 5x, you know how disgusting that's going to be. Your Sanctuary Dungeon quest system. Dude, and I was so excited about just the quest system, but there's so much stuff in the pipeline. There's so much cool stuff, man. I'm stoked, dude. I'm stoked. The future of Outlands is looking awesome. It is looking incredible. I'm super stoked. Once again, this is like, the pipeline is anywhere from, now to 2 years out. So Some of this stuff might not be here for a while, but a lot of this stuff looks like it's pretty far along. So I would expect to see some of this stuff pretty soon, to be honest with you. I think the stuff that's probably the farthest out is the skills. I think these are most likely to be the farthest out. And the dungeons for sure. The dungeons are also the farthest out. I would say the dungeons are probably the farthest out, in fact. The landmass expansion is probably, that's a toughie. That's a toughie. They've probably been working on this for like a year now, if I had to guess. Maybe a little bit less. I could honestly see us getting the landmass expansion within the next year, but it could also be very far out. It's hard to say. None of this stuff that they've announced is going to be, like, none of these dungeons they've announced are going to be in these new lands. So they could just be saving it, not talking about it. We know Tidal Tomb is in Wildlands over here. So this is not going to be in the new continent. We know Tidal Tomb is over here. We already know where the entrance for it is and everything. So this could honestly be like 2 years out as well, but who knows? We'll just have to see. They could just be hiding some of this stuff for like when they want to talk more about this specifically. And they'll be like, here's the new dungeons, you know, that kind of thing. So we'll see. But these dungeons, like the redesigns, OS4, Shadowspire redesign, all of these are probably the farthest out if I had to guess. We know Poma 4 is around the corner. It's probably like max 3 months away if I had to guess. Tidal Tomb is probably pretty close to that as well. No idea on this one. I didn't even have any clue they were working on that. That's an interesting one though. But yeah, most of the stuff is probably not as far out as you think, I would guess. This stuff's probably really far out. The dungeon clothing, I suspect they've got a long ways to go on this one. Monster Rumble, I'm really hoping we get this one soon because this sounds awesome. Super excited for this. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds sick. Chat. Oh my god. Ellicott. The Eggplant Barrage. Oh my god. Yo, Ellicott coming in with the 5 bomb. Yo, thank you so much, Ellicott. Appreciate you, buddy. You legend. You absolute legend. How many gift subs are you at now? 176. Holy fuck. Jesus. Yo, thank you so much, Ellicott. Appreciate you, buddy. It's a lot of gifties. Welcome, everybody, to the Jester's Court. Bearded Cervix, what a name. Addies, Molliflower, Womeo, and JDP. Welcome to the Jester's Court. Thank you so much, Ellicott, once again. Chat, I hope you guys enjoyed looking at the patch notes. Once again, if you guys want to hear more about the quest system, I've done a full video on YouTube about the quest system, breaking down everything we know about it so far, what they've released. It's a lot more in-depth than what they posted here. They've talked about this a lot more extensively. If you haven't already seen that video, I do have it on my YouTube. Posted a video going over it. So yeah. That was sick. Let's see. Let's see. Here you go, chat. Here's the link. If you want to watch it. We are going to get out of here, though, chat. I just wanted to get in and talk about this. My voice is insanely fucked right now. You can probably hear it. But we'll be back tomorrow for more. We'll actually be doing stealing tomorrow. Sorry for the short stream today. I was just super busy. Had stuff I had to take care of. But I did want to talk about this because I'm super excited about it. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out, chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the look at the future of Outlands. And you guys are as excited as I am because I am excited. There's some really cool shit in there. I'm very excited. Chat, have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do some stealing tomorrow. We'll get out in the dungeons, have some fun. As the Jester is back, chat. We got tolls to collect. We gotta collect those tolls. We got to, chat. We don't have a choice. Have a great night, everybody, and thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you guys tomorrow for more fun, etc., etc.
The city never stood a chance with you. second guess. Let down your guard. Just take a chance. I feel the hours ticking down. Wish I could turn it all around, but in my mind we're frozen perfectly in time. Can we turn back the night? Stay in this dream for Can we turn back the night? Stay in this dream for Can we turn back the night? Same old places come alive. Wherever we are, feels like I'm seeing with new eyes. Even in the dark, let's go get lost. Just take my hand, ignore the cost. Forget the plan. I feel the hours ticking down. Wish I could turn it all around, but in my mind we're frozen perfectly in time. Can we turn back the night? Stay in this dream for Can we turn back the night? Stay in this dream for